This is the Flex Network. Flex on everybody.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Flex Network. I'm your host, Flex Shane. You can follow me on Twitter at the Flex Network 1. Today, I am joined, of course, by Brandon Adam. You can follow him on Twitter at Brandon D. Adam 19. Brandon, we are in the thralls of the new startup Flex Network Dynasty League, and we just put Mike Dickinson on tilt. Let's talk about it.
100%. He's tilted right now. Jumped ahead.
Tilt emoji. Actually, this is the perfect kind of trade, okay? Because I'm happy with it because there's a bidding war for my pick. All right, so let's just tell the people what trade just went down. So
sure,
I just traded my, let's see here. It was the 303 and my 1010 for Brandon's 305 and 607. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a super flex dynasty startup. Brandon just took Matt Stafford, and pretty much it was like I just took Jalen Hurts a few picks back, and it was pretty much between him and Matt Stafford, and there's a bit of a cliff, right? Like Aaron Rodgers is still available, but there's a lot of question marks at this point, right? For a lot of these players. And yeah, the best part was I had Matt going after this pick, I had Mike going after this pick, and I had Brandon. So this is some flex on flex crime, baby. And I love it. It makes me happy because, man, okay, so this is my dilemma, Brandon. Okay. So we're at the stage in the draft. I picked it though. I got the 103. So it means I got the 103 and then end of the second, start of the third. 103 was a lock. It was Justin Herbert for me. It was, 100%. I mean, it went Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Justin Herbert. I think that's pretty definitive. No questions, right?
Yeah.
I ended up trading my second round pick. I moved back a couple spots and then I moved up 2 rounds, I think from round 8 to round 6, which I was happy with that, right? Matt took CeeDee Lamb there. I ended up going with Jalen Hurts. Now, this was my dilemma, okay? So I was thinking Jalen Hurts, who is, I still think massive upside, right? Versus Matthew Stafford, who just got a contract extension. He's got a sick team around him. I mean, he just got Allen Robinson, and I'm not totally convinced Allen Robinson is still a thing, but let's just pretend that he is for a second, okay? Obviously, he's got Cooper Kupp. They just won the Soup. Matt Stafford only was a point behind Jalen Hurts in points per game last year, right? So from that perspective, a lot more safe, right? But if Jalen Hurts, I guess the other thing too is I have a ton of Jalen Hurts exposure. Shocking, right? Spoiler alert.
You were nervous. Yeah, 100%.
So I'm like, do I want another share of Jalen? Knowing that in theory, if he has just a god awful year, like that's it, right? He's done. Maybe he'll be a backup for a year, like I was going to say Baker Mayfield, but like Baker Mayfield this year, or like the Mitchell Trubisky's, and I don't know. I wasn't sure about it, right? So then, or I could have pivoted to a running back, and at that point, I was looking at probably Antonio Gibson, maybe Cam Akers. Both of those guys have question marks, right? Like we don't question their talent, but Cam Akers, he's coming off 2 major injuries, right? He basically missed his first 2 seasons to injury. So the chances of him getting injured again are high, right?
Sure.
I could have taken the 101. I could have gone with somebody either like Breece Hall or Malik Willis. And actually, just before the show today, I was having a good conversation with Al because I was listening to the Player Profiler show with Josh Larkey, who unfortunately is leaving Player Profile. It's kind of sad, but they were having a debate about Breece Hall or Malik Willis at 101. And, I've been pretty definitively on the Breece Hall in all formats, but the argument was just player insulation, right? Like if Breece Hall just flames out or gets injured, his value plummets. Whereas Malik Willis, even if he has a horrible season, like we look at Trey Lance. Trey Lance went early second round in the startup. He didn't play he played a little.
He didn't play a snap. He didn't play a snap, and he's gained value.
He played when
he's literally like gaining value right now. It's pretty wild.
When Jimmy was hurt, he played. When Jimmy was playing, he. So anyways, or I could have gone with one of these wide receivers, right? Like, so Cooper Kupp went at the 3-2 to Mr. Seslowski, and I was debating Cooper Kupp. I was debating Deebo Samuel. So I was maybe, right? But then there's age, and then Deebo, we've seen it, right? Like he got a ton of usage last year, but the previous season before that, he was hurt. So just a lot of question marks, right? There's none of these picks. Like at round 2, I want to be like, yes, I'm locked and loaded. Like Justin Herbert, that was easy, right? This wasn't an easy pick. So I went back and forth. And then at this point, you know what? At the 303, if I've got a bidding war for this shit, hell yeah, I'm going to move back a couple spots. You can take Matthew
why
Stafford.
not?
Let's do it. So let's talk to me, Brandon. Let's talk about your draft to start with. You've gone. We're only 3 rounds in. This is just in its infancy. But you've got
just
Joe
started.
Burrow, DeAndre Swift, which put me on tilts, and then Matthew Stafford. Now you just picked up, traded up to get that spot. So
Sure.
I mean, I wasn't taking Matthew Stafford there, and Austin Eckler just went off. So I'm pretty happy.
You're good. You're solid, dude.
Yeah.
You're solid right now. You're going to be turning out like a golden goose soon enough. But the reason I traded up is because the QB market in this draft, I had to adjust to it because everybody the whole first round is stacked with QBs. I didn't expect it to be that deep in QBs. I expected at least a couple more wide receivers, maybe a Travis Kelce some point here, but it didn't happen. And I think I had to move up to be able to take my second QB because I did not want to have like a Jimmy Garoppolo, a somebody like that. And whoever didn't take quarterbacks is the whole market has dried up completely. So I'm curious. I went Joe Burrow out of the 5 hole this draft. Most people would have thought I was going to be going to Kyler there. I guarantee you, Mike Dickinson definitely thought I was going to be going Kyler. But I've been saying all offseason, Joe Burrow is my MVP candidate for this year. I think he's going to be an MVP guy with the additions to the O-line. It's just incredible what they've done for the Bengals offense. And I think this offense is going to be top 5 at minimum. With T. Higgins, with Jamar Chase, it's going to be sick. And Joe Mixon is going to be able to run the rock and have space because of this line that they just put in front of him. I mean, I think this whole Bengal offense is set to explode, much like the Rams did this past season, but with a more complete offense with Mixon in the fold.
Chiming in here saying nice trade. I'm happy with it, Bolly. Like I wasn't choosing Matt Stafford there anyway. So
I was feeling kind of bad about it because I saw Bolly there with no QBs. I was like, oh boy, like because I knew what I was about to do, and I felt a little sad for him. But hey, man, this is all about winning, and I think Matthew Stafford. That was with the QB market. The way this is shaking out in this draft, that was a must draft pick for me.
Well, the only guy without a quarterback right now is Mr. Mike Dickinson.
Yep.
but I mean, like, look, he's got a 6-star, bro. He started with Jamar Chase and Najee Harris. Right?
I know.
So if you're going to quarterback, you're going to like that's fine. Like he can still go Aaron Rodgers.
He got Aaron Rodgers, Kirk Cousins there. Like he can get a solid QB for himself, but that second QB is going to be yikes. Like it's just going to be tough.
Yeah, and Clip wants me to know if I'm going to choose this pick live. To be honest, Clip, I'm probably going to wait only because
you got to do it live.
No, because I'm going to if anybody wants to trade up, it's absolutely welcome, but probably the player that I'm likely going to take here, Clip, is probably Debo. Like if nobody chooses, but I'm going to wait. I don't want to rush. We got an 8-hour clock. Like why rush? Like people took their time.
We're on stream right now, but this is content.
This is content. I can't do it. But Clip's asking what he should do with his pick here. He started off with Lamar and then Mark Andrews. Of course, it's a tight end premium because there's no other way to play it. Frankly,
no way to play it.
You need that value. I don't know, man. The world is. I
like oyster, the stack.
The world is your oyster. I mean, hell, you could go Aaron Rodgers here. So, Mike, if you're listening, if Clip's going to go Aaron Rodgers because he needs a second quarterback, you better trade up if you want to get one of these quarterbacks. So, that's all I'm going to say,
dude.
What's that?
Love it, man.
So, all right, Brandon,
man, your connection's a little bad.
Is it my connection? Crap. Somebody's connection. So hopefully you guys are hearing us on the in the internets. But we got to talk about some of the massive trades that went down this week, right? Since we last spoke. I can't remember if the Devontae Adams trade had gone down since last week, or when that happened.
That went down.
It's a wild week.
That went down.
Blur. And then of course the Tyreek Hill trade went down as well. So which one do you want to start with? You want to talk about Adams first?
No, we already talked about Adams with Allen. Let's talk Chiefs right now. That
Oh,
was
jeez.
the
Okay.
most unexpected trade of the season, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like, that was wild, right? To you, like, did you expect that at all?
No, man. I mean, honestly, like, because Tyreek Hill and Patrick Mahomes have such amazing chemistry, and
Yeah.
the fact that it was kind of behind the scenes, right? Like Devontae Adams was pretty vocal about not sure if he wanted to stay. He was pretty vocal he wasn't going to stay and play on the franchise tag. So was Green Bay like what was Green Bay going to actually pay them? We don't know, right? So that one kind of made sense when they made the trade.
Right.
But Tyreek Hill, man, it's like Tyreek Hill, they're at an impasse, and like 2 hours later, it's the freaking trade goes down. He goes to the Dolphins. Let's talk about this for a second, okay?
Sure.
Because Jalen Waddle was the belle of the ball, okay? If that trade didn't go down, Jalen Waddle would be off the board. He would have been drafted in round 2, I suspect, right? Like,
yeah, he probably would have been. Yeah, he would have been already drafted for sure, especially in Dynasty. Yeah.
yeah, no, absolutely. But I mean, okay, so obviously Jalen Waddle takes a hit here. I think Tyreek Hill takes a hit, right? Like you go from
Small.
freaking Patrick
Yeah.
Mahomes. Yeah, I think
No.
bigger than small, man. You don't think so?
No. So the way I got it, I had Tyreek Hill at 5 in my Dynasty ranks. I moved him to 9. I still think he's a wide receiver 1. Yeah, and super. Yeah.
Oh, you're talking about like wide receiver rankings or
yeah, wide receiver rankings.
Oh, okay.
I think he moved down to wide receiver 9. I think he's plenty dangerous with the ball, with yak ability, with Tua. I mean, as much as we like to mess with Tua and like to make jokes about Tua, I mean, Mike has pointed out several times the guy can throw it deep. He's one of the more accurate deep ball throwers when he has time and has protection. And I think with Tyreek Hill, how does that not improve your deep ball accuracy anyways? I just don't understand how that couldn't help him out, but it will definitely help Tua's air yards out next season with this trade. I just think it opens up this offense so much. And I think Tyreek Hill is going to be used a lot like Deebo Samuel was last year, all over the formation, a ton of he'll be doing a lot of motion to open up things for Waddle as well. And I mean, they also got Raheem Mostert that can run the rock. If he can stay healthy, they got some guy that can run the rock. The guy can, the guy can play. I'm not going to ever tell anybody.
Yeah.
Me a season.
You're right.
Like, can you give me one season? Yeah. If you can, then dude, that opens up the whole thing. And I really like this trade for the Dolphins. The Dolphins really pushed all in. And I think this is going to help Tua out immensely.
Oh man, I'm laughing. My phone is blowing up, man. It's hilarious.
Dude, my phone is absolutely going crazy too. Like I haven't even looked at it.
This is why we play Dynasty. This is why we play fantasy football, man. I don't even care if like it's funny. So Al always references this Twitter poll that he saw from a couple years back, where it's like, why do you play Dynasty fantasy football? Do you play it to win? Do you play it for the trades? Do you play it for the drafts? Mm-hmm. And a significant number of people said they don't even like play to win the damn league. I think I'm kind of that guy. I play for the trades. I love the draft. I love like going and researching rookies. Like that's to me. And then and then you got Clip here on Tilts talking about how I need to make the darn pick. So I don't know, man. Yeah, we seem to be having a bit of a connection issue here. So I don't know if it's my side or if it's your side, Brandon. But yeah, Clip. Maybe you can tell us.
Dude, your side is rough.
Is it my side or is it Brandon's side here, Clip?
It's your side, buddy. I have the best internet possible.
I do too. That's what's so frustrating. I just got the fiber optic cables installed.
Yeah, a lot of money for my internet.
I know it's tilting. It's big tilting. So all right, let's kind of
bummer.
Are there any other major players right now? So we talk about there's still a few landmines out there at the running back position, right? So Sony Michel is still out there, and Melvin Gordon is still out there. Where do you think these guys can land?
Yep.
Do you think that Denver stays insulated? Do you think Devontae stays protected here? I'm still on record.
I think it's pretty.
Go ahead.
I think it's pretty obvious. It's pretty obvious. The Broncos are waiting for what's going to happen in the draft to see if they can get themselves a cheaper option. I think it's pretty obvious that they're going to do that. They would have signed Gordon right away, especially with a guy that was on their squad already. They know exactly what he is, but it seems like his market isn't there. I think he was expecting a bigger bag, but I don't think it's going to happen. I could totally see. I was really hoping Gordon to KC was going to happen, but it ended up being Ronald Jones. But Gordon to Buffalo, man, it can still. I think that is a move that if the price is correct, I think that could happen for Gordon. And if that happens, man, Javonte Williams is going to end up being a superstar in fantasy. That whole offense for the Broncos is just going to take a massive leap forward. And that is like the biggest I'm waiting on bated breath for that signing to happen because
we got a question here.
Gordon
right?
is going to be sketchy.
Timely question. Yeah, we got a timely question because we're talking about Kansas City here. We got Mark Yasko asking for Dynasty Football Superflex League. Okay, so perfect. Was what we're doing. I have the second pick. I think Josh Allen will go 1-1. Should I pick Herbert or Mahomes? Brandon, this is kind of a tough one. Who do you have higher on your board here? Are you going Herbert or Mahomes here? You going Justin Herbert?
Herbert. Yep.
I think I am too, to be honest with you. Just because
right now, you got to do it. Like right now, you have to do that, right?
Do you have to do it? I mean, Kansas City is surely going to get a wide receiver.
They're going to get two.
Now, right?
But like, the thing is that rookies have been coming in and they've been flourishing and all that. And it's Andy Reid, and I'm sure he'll be able to create, production. But this is going to be a massive adjustment early in the season, at least for the early half of the season for Pat Mahomes and this offense. I mean, think about it. Think about what all Tyreek Hill does for that offense, just with the motion, with opening up others, with him going deep. It opens up Kelsey for the easy hitch routes. All these things are not going to be easy yards anymore. I think it's going to be, you're going to see a lot of two-man coverage on Kelsey, and they don't have a guy that runs the rock consistently. So, I mean, Ronald Jones is a good player. So that or somewhat good player. I think he could actually help that offense a little bit. But see, Clyde Edwards-Helaire,
okay.
If you didn't trade Clyde before this signing, you're never going to get him off your roster now. Like, it's just not going to happen at what you probably took him for. So it's unfortunate, but Clyde is dead to me 100%. And I traded away all my CEH shares. And like, I put on him. I just took the 202 for him in a 1 QB league. So
yeah, that's not bad. I don't hate that.
If you can take a high second for him, I would take it. I would do that.
You're out on him
in a heartbeat.
I think Clip's saying at the 2 point or to 1.2, you should take Jonathan Taylor. I don't know, man. I still think I love JT, but I'm on you, man. I'm probably taking Herbert there. It's super close. Like, if you talk about flip a coin, I would be happy with either of them. But in general, I would probably want to go Justin Herbert there. It just seems like the right pick. I mean, age is
a more insulated pick.
It is. And, they just got Mike Williams. You saw what they did. They changed how he was playing. They got they got him the ball closer to the line of scrimmage, let him use a little bit of his speed to go and just beat people, right? Versus these deep 50-50 balls that just aren't high completion percentages. And there's still Austin Eckler, who's going to catch the damn ball. And those are easy touchdowns, right? For Justin Herbert. I'm probably going Herbert. Like, we haven't seen Mahomes be Mahomes for a number of years now. Whereas Justin Herbert was a QB2 in his second year in the NFL.
Yeah.
Like,
so I'm saying if you look at their offenses and the trajectory of their teams, just look at what Kansas City has done. They're going to have to rebuild here a little bit. They fully did not expect to lose Hill this offseason, 100%. I guarantee you that.
No, of course not.
I think the Devontae Adams trade and the contract that he got forced this trade from what Drew Rosenhaus said. That's what ended up happening. And, hey, man, and Tyreek Hill, he was a capitalist about it. Like, he wanted that money. He wanted full on number one money, and he got it. Like, how can you turn down the bag like that? That's especially when you're going to Florida, where you're going to save income tax money and all that stuff. He's from Miami. Like, he lives there a lot of the times.
He built a house. He just built a house.
This is his place, man.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
Imagine going to Miami, young and freaking rich, versus being hanging out in Kansas City. like think about it, man. Like, you can't, like it's just what it is. I guarantee his family was just like, you can't stay in Kansas City if you're going to get everything you're asking for in Miami.
No, I get it.
Like,
so Mark's saying here he's leading Herbert. We agree with you. Feel the Chargers, okay, better supporting cast. Chargers are going to be a better overall team. Kind of a hot take. Okay, here's the thing. Okay, so AFC West. It's now the gauntlet division in the AFC, right? Like, the AFC in general is stronger than the NFC, but Kansas City is still Kansas City.
Right.
The Chargers, Justin Herbert is continuing to ascend to potentially the best quarterback in the league. The Raiders just got arguably the best wide receiver in the league. And Denver just got Russell Wilson. And we want Russ to cook, man. Denver's going to let Russ cook. So
it sounds like it.
Is it a hot take to say that Kansas City? Well, okay. First of all, who do you think's the odd? Or this is Brandon Adam, not Vegas. Who do you think's the favorite to win the division? Is it the Chargers?
No, it's Denver to me. I just think the impact of Russell Wilson is a huge deal. Like, that guy, the belief he gives his teammates is uncanny. I'm telling you, it is a thing. Like, when you got a guy on your team in sports that at any point can bring you back from any deficit, that's a big deal. And what has the Chargers been doing? They've been losing close games. This is Russell Wilson wins those games, period. Like, that's what he does. He has more game-winning drives than anybody in the league since he's been in the league. Period. Like, that is just who he is. And that is the reason why you trade the farm to go get him and bring it in. And then you have the number one defense in the division anyways. You're bringing that back. I'm telling you, set to win. And Cortland Sutton is going to end up being a massive value, guys.
Oh, I love Court. So, okay. So he's your boy, Spencer, right? What's his team name? Hook and Hall or something like that?
Hook and Ladder, my homie.
Hook and Ladder, yeah. So Spencer's your boy. Clip. So Clip is probably the highest person on Kyle Pitts I've ever met. I'm not even exaggerating. Yep. Like, he literally is the highest on him. And he said Pitts going to first round was an eye opener for me, and that's coming from him. Yeah. What do you think?
The funny thing is, Mike almost took him. Mike almost took him where Chase went.
How can you defend that pick? How can you defend that pick in the first round?
Tight end premium. He's a unicorn. I get it.
Though? Like, I get it, but is he a unicorn? Or is he just like a fancy little white horse where it's like the glue? It's like, the 1950s movies. Like, there's like a glue on some horse.
I think unfortunately, I think for this season, that pick is going to be a little bit treacherous. Yeah. But once they get their next QB in line, I think the offense settles down. Remember, Arthur Smith was a tight ends coach. Like, he loves the tight end position. And so I think he has a massive plan for him. I think he's going to use him in a different way than most people get used at that position. But I get it. It's tight end premium. It's not something I would do. I'm all about getting, a tight end a little bit later. Like that. That's fine. But I get it. Like, unicorn talent. That's cool. But my buddy told me, Spencer, I was like, hey, if that's your guy, that's your guy, go get your guy. Like, that's just period. And he wouldn't, I don't think he would have, he probably would have lasted to the second round. If you look at the board.
Maybe it's hard to say. He might have gone around the turn, but here's the thing: Atlanta, they don't have a quarterback right now.
Mariota.
I don't care about Mariota. He's not. He's fine. He's
Super Mario.
They've got pick number 8, pick number 43, and pick number 58 in the first 2 rounds. So, are they going to go and take a quarterback at 8? If Malik falls, but I don't think Malik's going to fall. Sez is convinced that Detroit's going to take him at 2 overall. And I don't think he's wrong. I think that's a really good take.
Yeah. I don't hate it. I don't hate it. Like, I mean, I just think this Detroit team, that's why I took Swift, man. I think this, like Mike was saying last year at the end of the season, I think this team is building something good. And I think Dan Campbell is a guy that's galvanizing that team and that city. And I just feel like Swift is going to be the reason they go wherever they go, especially for this year. Yeah, I'm excited for that. That's why I picked Swift. I knew that was going to put you on massive tilt. It was between AJ Brown and Swift, but Swift being at the age he is, man, that's instant value. Like I can see him finishing in the top 3 with the way he catches the football. Like it just. Yeah. Like, and you got Jared Goff back there for now, but Malik Willis, he's gonna dump off the passes to him quite a bit. I can totally see that happening, and having that RPO game and the option game with Malik in the backfield with Swift is gonna be nasty. I think that's going to be something that defenses are going to be. They're going to be like, what are we going to do here? Because both of these guys can run, and it's going to be fun to watch. But Amon-Ra St. Brown has been winning the offseason for sure. I was expecting some more depth pieces at least, but DJ Chark, I'm cool with that.
I'm a DJ Chark fan. He's disappointed. Obviously, last season he was injured. The Lions have pick number 2, pick number 32, and pick number 34. So if they can
wide receiver is going to be picked, 100%.
Yeah, I think out of those, the 34 and the 32, they're probably going to go wide receiver there. I mean, I've heard up to 5 of these wide receivers can be taken in round 1. Like, really, it's Traylon Burks, Chris Olave, Garrett Wilson. Your boy Drake London could go. Number 4 overall to the New York Jets? Yeah. They have the 4 and the 10. The Jets do. So I
actually saw. I don't know who I saw this on Twitter. I was reading somebody's Twitter, and everybody's been comping Drake London to the Jets, right? But if you look at the fact that they went after Tyreek Hill, they were all in on Tyreek Hill. It was just Tyreek didn't choose them. So if you're if they're looking for that kind of guy, that's a Garrett Wilson pick. I think Garrett Wilson is the Jets pick if he's there. I think that makes a lot more sense. Chris Olave would be great too. Chris Olave is good. Yep. That's a great pick.
Garrett Wilson. Okay, here's the thing. The thing about Garrett Wilson and the thing about Chris Olave is they're more similar to Elijah Moore versus the Drake is completely different. A completely different archetype, right? So if you're going to go Garrett Wilson or Chris Olave, it's a little redundant to Elijah Moore. So,
but that's what I was saying. I was like, why would they get Tyreek Hill though? Like Tyreek is such a different. I mean, just think of the makeup of him, like what he does for offenses. Yeah. Like he is the outside guy. Could you imagine him and Elijah Moore? That would have been so sick. Yeah. All my Elijah Moore shares would have took a hit though, but it would have been fun to watch for sure. But I'm telling you, like I really think Garrett Wilson could be their guy if they were going for Hill. I think Garrett Wilson. That makes sense. But Drake London, I would love to see him paired with Wilson because the big arm, he could fix all the bad throws. Like that's what he does.
See, this is what I think. Okay, this is what I'm thinking. Okay, so I think 101 Jacksonville's probably going to keep that pick. They're probably going to go. I mean, do you think they're going to go Evan Neal or maybe they're
I think Thibodeau? I think the defense pass rush. Yeah.
Pass rush. Okay. So maybe they're going to do there. Okay. So then at number 2, Detroit goes quarterback. Who's the number 3 pick? I don't even know who's number 3 is Houston. So Houston can go anywhere, but they're not going to draft skill position. Okay. So at number 4, it could be wide open for the Jets, but I think that they should go their best defensive lineman available. Ikem. I always butcher this dude's name. Ikem Ekwonu. Is a top 5. Evan Neal might be available, right? Or they can go
Evan Neal would be good.
We know that Sal loves his defense.
Evan Neal's probably the pick if he's there.
Yeah, but at 10, I think that's where they go wide receiver.
Yeah,
100%. And if Drake London's there, I think it's going to be Drake London. And then here's the scary thing. Okay, so again, I was chatting with Sez before the show today, and we go back and forth. Again, going back to the Malik Willis versus a Breece Hall conversation, you need to also add context to that. So okay, if Breece Hall's your 101, realistically, where do you think he's going to land? And the Jets have right here. So they've got the 4 and the 10, like we said, but then they've got pick number 35 and pick number 38 in round 2.
35 is prime
that is
Breece
the
Hall.
absolute sweet spot for Breece Hall, right?
Yeah, I could totally see them doing that.
But is that a bad thing? Okay,
No.
because at that point, Zach Wilson, I mean, he has his hive, right? I was never really a big Zach Wilson guy, but he's got his hive of supporters, right? So maybe he can be a thing, right? They've got Elijah Moore. They've got one of these other elite wide receivers. And then they get Michael Carter and Breece Hall, man. Like, that would be pretty sick for football. Not great for fantasy because we know Michael Carter is an elite pass catcher, but so is Breece Hall, man.
Football, that is real football. That's awesome. Like that would be one creative, explosive offense that can insulate Wilson from making bad decisions by having those two in the backfield. But yeah, for a fantasy football, I hope you're wrong, because we love definitive target shares, and we love that because it's consistency, right? But yeah, I just have a feeling, Elijah Moore is I think he's gonna be a superstar. I think he's somebody that everybody that talks about him that's in the game says it. Like this guy is legitimately a stud and to watch out for. And I'm all in on Elijah Moore this year. So, but I actually do think they need another outside threat to help Elijah Moore. That would be a huge deal.
Let me ask you something, Brendan.
Yeah.
Let me ask you something, because you're one of the biggest Kenneth Walker supporters I know.
Yeah.
With Michael Carter, who would be better to pair up in the backfield? Would it be Breece Hall or would it be your boy?
It would be Kenneth. I think it would be better. I think it fits better. I think the scheme fits him much better with the outside zone scheme they run. I think that would be the pick for sure. I actually think Houston is going to take Breece Hall in the second round.
That would make sense. I mean, Houston has a ton of picks,
and I wouldn't care. Like, dude, why would? I don't know why people are so upset if that happens. Like, Davis Mills can throw the rock pretty good. Like he's a decent quarterback. Like
Davis Mills is sneaky good.
Dude, Davis Mills is going to end up being a massive value. And shout out to Mike. Mike last year was pounding the table with me about Davis Mills. I said, no way. And I looked at his awkward mechanics. I was like, no. But hey, shout out Mike. Like, he hit that one out of the park. He was 100%. The only reason I have Davis Mills on a roster is because of Mike. And he was right on that one. So I would love to see Breece Hall there with a Davis Mills, and then they draft a wide receiver on the outside to help out Nico Collins, and go forward that direction. I think I'm totally fine with that, but everybody's going to poo-poo that because it's Houston and they're going to be terrified of that for the 1-1.
Does does Breece Hall fall to pick number 37 in round 2? That's the question, right? And they have 2 third-round picks, so do they trade up to get Breece Hall? That would be the only way they'd really get them, I think, I
mean, I don't see why. Honestly, they need a workhorse back. They need somebody to stabilize that whole offense. I mean, Breece makes so much sense for them. I know it's not what people want to hear, but that makes so much sense. And KW, it would really make me upset as a fantasy guy because I want him to have his own backfield because I think he's that kind of guy. But him and Carter would be a formidable 1-2 punch. I think that would be a fun team to watch.
Yeah. Okay. Let's pivot a little bit.
Sure.
Let's talk a little bit about rookies. Okay. Because so Isaiah Spiller, he just continues to tumble down. He had his pro day this week. Ross Schwartz was there. The trash man was there. And look, he's slow. Like, this is the thing. He's slow. Okay. He's running into 4.6s. Okay. Trash Man was there, which I trust Trash Man. He's got an eye for, like the bird with the broken wing. That's kind of like a Trash Man type pick, right? But he's convinced that Isaiah Spiller's hurt. He was saying that during the drills, he looked fine. He wasn't favoring his hamstring, but on the side, he was out stretching those hamstrings out. So that might just be tight hamstrings, but he said at the combine, he hurt his hamstring while there. So Okay, first of all, sight unseen, Brandon. Where the hell are you comfortable taking Isaiah Spiller in rookie drafts right now? Like, are you taking him at the end of the first round in super flex leagues, or are you like you're out?
Yeah,
because that's where he's going to go. He's going to go pick
no,
9,
no,
pick 10
I'm
in super flex leagues.
I'm not completely out. I'm not completely out on him. I think he could be at that value, you take him. Like that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like you take value when it presents itself. Like I'm never out on a prospect. I'm out on ADP. But like when people were, when we first were talking about this class, I had Isaiah Spiller up higher, and just the more and more I dug into him, the more and more games I watched on him, I saw the speed issue. I really did. And I saw that the dude runs straight up and down. He presents a massive target for safeties and linebackers. And he's not an elite athlete. Okay. He's an elite work. Like what he was is he worked hard. Like he outworked you on the field versus out talented you. And when I see KW, when I turn on the film of Kenneth Walker and then I turn on Spiller film, I'm just like, yikes. Like it's a massive difference. And I bet on athleticism and production. If you have if you have great production and you're not a great athlete, and I'm putting you up against a player that has both, I'm going to tilt towards the guy that has both the traits that you want to see. It's just how I am. And as a guy that plays sports, there's certain guys on the ice, man, that you can't deal with, or certain players in sport that you can't deal with, is just because they're God-given talents, man. And you just got to understand that. And I just feel like God forgot to give him a little bit of burst in the second level of defenses.
Yeah. Okay, so here's the thing about Isaiah Spiller. Okay, so I'm not a college football guy. I don't watch college football during the season. I don't have time. My life is we don't have time for this shit. But shit, I don't want to say that. But so what we start doing is we start diving into these rookies in December, right? So that's when we start looking at the tape. And where do you start? You start at the top. You thought, okay, who are these Devy guys talking about? And Isaiah Spiller was one of these guys that every Devy player was talking about. I mean, Ray JQ, he's one of the guys that I listen to quite regularly. I trust him. He's got great takes. And he was super high on Isaiah Spiller. He was his 101 before the combine, pre-combine. So I'm like, all right, I got to go watch this film, right? And so you and I were texting with Mike, and I'm like, maybe I'm just missing it, but like he doesn't jump off the page for me, right? Breece Hall jumps off the page for me.
I hear you.
It's because for me. And go ahead, Brent.
That's a massive problem to me.
Yeah, the thing too is that, again, one of the whole things with Spiller was that he wasn't recruited to be the guy, right? Like they talked about, they weren't going to work him prior to the NFL so that he'd be ready for the NFL. But then he doesn't have the production numbers. He doesn't look, to me, he doesn't jump off the page when I'm watching him. And then you go and you look at the testing numbers, and he doesn't do well. So like it's like notch versus like he just keeps getting X's. And to me, it's like I'm gonna take a chance probably on one of these wide receivers at that stage in the draft if I'm going to go making those picks versus Isaiah Spiller. Now, if Isaiah Spiller falls to me in the early 201, 202, I might consider it. But Rashad White, he's moving up boards, right? And then a guy that I've really been into recently is Amir Wyatt.
There you go. Talk about him.
Yeah. So Amir Wyatt, he's a running back out of Georgia. We know that he played with James Cook. So his numbers weren't fantastic. He didn't really have the passing numbers. But the thing about Zamir White is that he plays violently, right? Like he's the kind of player where, one, I don't think you're going to have to pay up to get Zamir White in your drafts. Although I will say the hive is
coming.
There. So yeah, exactly. So I'm just I'm trying to pull up his workout metrics here because I was just looking at it, but I've been all over the place here. So yeah, I keep going back and forth. But so the thing about Zamir White that I like is the fact that when he catches the ball, he didn't really have to do it because he's got James Cook on his team, and James Cook is probably one of the best pass catchers of the ball, other than Kyron Williams. But that's Kyron Williams is a whole different conversation. Okay, but Zamir White, if he gets the draft capital, when I say to me, Zamir White's going to go in like round 4, right? I don't think he's going to go day 2. Because there's just other players. Like there's so many wide receivers. You're thinking round 3? Is that what you're flashing to me, Brendan?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
round 3.
Yeah.
So if he goes round 3,
I think that's
round 3, round 4 to me is a sweet spot for sure. But yeah,
yeah, I mean, if these GMs, they love SEC running backs. They understand that they had 2 good running backs in there, and the production is going to be kind of tainted because of that. So you're really just going off evaluation of skill set and talent.
Yeah,
and the guy runs a 4.4.
Yeah,
6 foot 220. How can you not like him? Like the only reason people were fading him was because of injury a little bit. He had injuries, but what running back doesn't?
Well,
I mean, it's just to the point where, like, it's just ACL. Like,
well, both
ACL on both. Yeah, that's a high risk player. But I've been reading more and more that these scouts have been liking his film and that they fully expect him to go in the 3rd or 4th round and to be a serviceable starter, is what this scout said. So that's, I mean, when you got an SEC running back from a big time program and it was just injuries that held him back, that's somebody you can take to the bank a little bit and go, if I can get value for this guy at the end of rookie drafts or mid second round rookie drafts, that's somebody you want to take shots on if he lands in a good situation, because the talent will overcome, and teams love getting young at that position, period. So that's their number one idea, is to keep themselves young at the running back position, have a platoon of guys. And if he gets draft capital in the right situation, I like Amir Wyatt. So he's a nice player.
Yeah, so this whole situation reminds me of the Michael Carter, Javonte Williams situation. Of course, James Cook being Michael Carter, Zamir White being Javonte Williams. I don't think that Zamir is quite the prospect that Javonte was. No. But first of all, and I think we talked about this on the show before, but his nickname in college was Zeus. Okay,
Zeus.
You got to earn that damn nickname. So to me, Zeus is the kind of player that I want on my team.
That's right.
He had 382 total carries, 2,043 rush yards, and 25 total touchdowns. Like you said, he's 6'4", he's 214 pounds, and he's still young. He's only 22 years old, right? So he's not one of these older backs. He's still declaring. And so Player Profiler, they have their player comps based off of production in college. So these are some of his comps. Damian Williams, but Damian Harris, Felix Jones, J.K. Dobbins, and Kenny Wongwu. These are all players that we like. And
J.K. Dobbins is right there, man. I think
exactly
pretty spot on. I think he's got some Swift to his game. I think he's got some Swift to his game as well.
Yeah, I mean, the truth is,
it's obvious. Like those Bulldog running backs, man. I like it.
Yeah,
I like it.
He's probably going to be the first and second down back, but if he can, I don't think he's going to be 3 down back, right? At least, certainly not in year 1. He's not going to be a 3 down back. If he can show the coaching staff that he knows how to catch the ball, then he can certainly become a 3 down back. But I just don't think he's quite there yet, at least in year 1. So, if you're getting Zamir White in mid to late round 2, I think that's a sweet spot. That's where I'm comfortable taking him.
Yeah.
So then another player that you've been talking about, because I mean, as much as we bust Mike's balls, Desmond Ritter, he's been high on him for over a month, and now it feels like the fantasy community is starting to move up on Ritter. So you were watching Desmond Ritter tape, and you couldn't help but see one wide receiver. So who do you like? That's a Cincinnati wide receiver. So
I've been, because Mike has been putting me on tilt about Ritter, because I'm trying to figure out if I'm missing something with him or what. Yeah. But it's every time I'm watching Desmond Ritter, I'm seeing him underthrow balls, and I'm seeing this massive 6'3" wide receiver on the outside fixing throws and catching balls that are contested and out of frame. And his name is Alec Pierce, man. And then this guy goes and runs a sub 4.4 at the combine and blazes a 4.41. Okay, 4.41. Yeah. And at his size, at 6'3" at 215 pounds, that makes me, open my eyes a little bit and go, why is this guy not getting any hype? And it's because he actually he was a special teams guy when he first came to college, and he had to work his way onto the roster and work his way into a role. And in his last season, he finally had 52 catches, 884 yards. Average per catch was 17 yards and had 8 touchdowns with a long of 53 yards. That right there tells me if you look at his production through the years, his yards per catch were steady. It was 17.6 in 2019, 18.5 in 2020, and then 17 yards flat when he got more and more production in his last year. And from what I'm seeing, reading about him more and more and seeing is that he was learning the position. He was just learning how to do routes, run routes. And when I'm watching this guy, I see Mike Evans a ton.
Yeah.
Like I just see down the field, I see Mike Evans, I see a Vincent Jackson type guy downfield. And that is a role somebody can play for every single offense in the NFL. And he's going to get shots at that because of his athleticism. I can just see him going in the third round in the NFL draft. And if he gets that kind of, belief behind him, I think he can be somebody you can take in mid to late second rounds and rookie drafts and be happy about, because he's the kind of guy that can develop his game into something else. And he has some yak ability, some ability. He can make people miss here and there, but I really think it was just the fact that he had such a smaller route tree is that people weren't too high on him. But the way he can adjust his body in the air and catch bad throws was impressive to me. It looks good. It really does. And I just feel like he fits the eye test for the NFL. And when he just ripped that number at the combine, that was impressive. And then he jumped out of the gym too. I think I have him right. I think I have his numbers right here.
He jumped a 40.5 inch vertical.
Yeah.
That's
40 inches, man, at 215 pounds. And then his broad jump was 129. Like that's elite athleticism. He just needs to refine his skills a little bit. And who knows, maybe you can get yourself a Jordy Nelson or something like that. Like just somebody that comes out of nowhere, and just that's the kind of guy I like taking shots on.
Yeah, I think the NFL's could take a shot on him somewhere around the end of the third round, early fourth round. Like to me, that feels like a sweet spot. He's a value Drake London is what Mike's is saying, which I like.
Dude, that's a great.
That's a great. If you don't get Drake London, you don't get Christian Watson. Alec Pierce, probably early round 3 of your rookie drafts, is going to be like, you're going to smash that, right?
Yes, I like that.
I think that's good. There you go. See, Mike, he's not even here and he's making a contribution to the show. There you go.
I know. Why aren't you here, Mike?
Yeah, he's got family obligations. We'll go with that. So, man, look, I'm so excited. We're about a month away here. Actually, our boy Flex Matt is going to be out at the draft, so we're going to try to arm him with a camera and walk around, and maybe he'll do some live streaming while he's out there. But that also might be very dangerous, and we have to put like, the opinions expressed by Flex Matt do not express the opinions of the Flex Network. He is solely. Yeah,
there needs to be a caption. We need an insert caption on all of his tweets. Like some of his stuff. He's wild, but hey, man, do you, because nobody knows how to fucking play this game properly. Everybody, makes bad picks here and there, and some people hit big. And who am I to say that he's wrong? He's wild, but I like it.
There you go. He's wilding, baby. All right, Brandon, let's end it there.
Sure.
Unless you got anything else to say.
No, just a couple names I was thinking about talking about was one at the tight end position was Jelani Woods. Dude is a 6'9" monster. This guy is a straight monster. He was a quarterback in high school, was recruited to Oklahoma State as a quarterback, super smart player. But his athleticism is out of control. Just go look up his numbers from the combine. You'll understand why. And then John Mechie is another guy that I just love. He reminds me of Stephon Diggs. This guy, he's going to be a value in every single rookie draft we do, and I'm going to be picking shares up of him.
John Mechie was outperforming Jameson Williams before his injury, so keep that in mind. It's interesting about it to tight ends. Jalen Wiedemeyer, the tight end for Texas A&M, also ran at the pro day, and I think he was like over 5 seconds.
Bro, he's slow as shit. Yeah, it's McBride, then Woods for me, because he's just a freak athlete. The guy is a freak athlete, and when you are 6'8", 6'9", running down the seams for quarterbacks, you can fix a lot of stuff for them.
Greg Dulcich is pretty solid though. He ran a 4.7 40, which is a 73rd percentile. So
he's my number 3.
Yeah, I like Greg Dulcich as well. It's
Yep.
it's going to be interesting. Some of these guys, I'm still firmly on the Trey McBride train.
Yep.
I just worry
I'm
he's
not
gonna
as
be
firm.
typecast. Yeah, I think he's going to be more typecast as like a better NFL tight end, like a pass blocker versus like I
This
think he's like
Woods
a Dawson
guy.
Knox. To me, he's like Dawson Knox, right? Like Dawson Knox had his moments, but now they've got OJ Howard, who is I think more athletic, so maybe it's going to take away a little bit of that luster. That worries me a little bit with Trey
Yep.
McBride, but like in terms of like a tight end talent, he's an absolute stud. But yeah, it's going to be interesting, man. We're going to keep talking about this, and actually, we have a definitively, I think, one of the top rookie experts out there right now who's coming on the show. Cody Carpentier is going to be on the show on Tuesday.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah. So Cody, man. So he's with Player Profiler. For those of you who don't know, I think you probably all know. And
You should.
when I talk about like when I'm getting into the rookie class, who are the guys that I turn to? I turn to Ray GQ and I turn to Cody Carpentier. So we got a good one coming for you guys on Tuesday. That's going to be at 8:00 live Eastern. So if you guys have questions, feel free to jump on the show and ask those questions live. And I'll be happy to ask them with Cody. But it's going to be a great show. Man, as we lead up to this draft, I'm getting more and more excited. I'm getting more depressed about my 101s because I want to take Breece Hall, but I don't know if I can anymore. So it's a bittersweet thing. But man,
I know. I like the 104. Like 103, 104 is nice. Like that. That's the one. That's where I'm gonna start. Like I've literally put Drake London and Burks the same. Like I think it's gonna come down to me to landing spot for me for those two to change who's going number one and number two. But yeah, I'm excited that this draft is loaded. Daniel Jeremiah just released that he had I think 11 wide receivers in the top 50 of this draft.
Malik Willis in round 1. So,
but hey, man, I've been saying it. I've been saying this.
No, he's going round 1 after that pro day at Liberty.
He's going round 1
for sure. Clip, thank you for watching. Mark, thank you for watching. Of course, Mike, Matt, thank you everybody for watching. We love engaging. If you like the program, we would really appreciate it if you could like and subscribe it. You could perhaps comment on it on the podcast. Obviously, we're just still trying to grow it, right? So come engage us. We do this because we love talking about fantasy football. We love talking about NFL. Hit us up on Twitter. You can follow me at the Flex Network 1. You can follow Brandon at Brandon D Adam 19 on Twitter. We like to talk shit. We'd like to talk fantasy football. So hit us up. And thank you so much for listening. We'll catch you next time. So for Brandon, for Mike, I'm Flex Shane, and we are the Flex Network.
Peace.
This is the Flex Network. This is the Flex Network. Flex on them. Flex on everybody.